Today we shall go on to the fourth factor for the sharpening of controlling faculties, namely Sabbaya Kriyaya Sambhadeti, accomplishing the Bhavana Jnana, insight knowledge, with the practice of the suitabilities to make oneself suitable. Sabbaya Kriyaya, suitabilities, or making things suitable, Anurupa Kriyaya, in order to make things suitable, to be appropriate for the practice. And there are of 7 kinds, 7 suitabilities. Namely, Avasa Sabbaya, suitability of abode, that is living accommodation. Gochara Sabbaya, suitability of resort. As for the monks, an alms village, there should be an alms village for them to go around, not too far, not too near. This is such as the suitability of resort. And a third one is Bhasa Sabbaya, suitability of speech, listening to suitable speech. And the fourth one, Pogala Sabbaya, suitability of person. That means suitable, and living suitably with fellow residents, especially meditation teachers, association with meditation teachers. And then we have this Bhojana Sabbaya, suitability of food. Udu Sabbaya, suitability of climatic conditions, eat and go. And the last one, the seventh one is Iriyapata Sabbaya, the suitability of postures in 4 ways: lying, walking, standing, sitting. They have to be suitable. In this way, there are 7 suitabilities. Out of these 7 suitabilities, for the first one, Avasa Sabbaya, suitability of accommodation, is also very important. In the case of samatha practitioners, those yogis who are practicing tranquility meditation, if they are not able to cultivate the sign of the object that they are going to meditate on, or if the signs have faded away in certain place, then it is not suitable for them. And as for the Vipassana practitioners, if they are not able to cultivate staying mindfulness, and if they have cultivated this mindfulness has faded away, or if they cannot cultivate concentration, or that concentration which is already deepened has faded away, then such a place may be said to be unsuitable. Otherwise, you will find suitable places. This is Avasa Sabbaya. As for the practicing yogis, they may sit under a tree, in the bush, in the hills, among the valleys or forests. And it is being recommended to practice 3 days in each place to see whether such a place is suitable for either samatha practitioner or vipassana practitioner. If the samatha practitioner is able to cultivate the signs of the objects that they are meditating upon, then such a place can be suitable. They should stay there. And as for the vipassana practitioner, if they are able to cultivate the satipatthana insight practice, then it is such a place can be considered to be a suitable place. And if they are able to cultivate deepen their concentration, such a place can be said to be Avasa Sabbaya, suitable location. So they should stay there. As for this forest center, as a whole, it can be considered to be Avasa Sabbaya, suitable place. Individually also, in their kutis, they can also be considered to be suitable. And this Dhamma hall where you are all sitting can also be considered to be suitable. So there's no need to think about or to find a suitable place for the yogis who are here. So you can say that we are fulfilling this suitability, avasa, sabaya. In accordance with the Buddha, the avasa, sabaya, suitability of place is given as a sunyagara, a quiet place, quiet location free from extraneous sound. As for this place, we can say that it is free from extraneous sound. Even if when outsiders, visitors come here, they are not to speak loudly, and they have to speak slowly, in a low voice, so that this place can be said to be a quiet place. Although there may be some constructions going on, you may hear some banging of the hammers and whatnot to some extent. So you may say that this place is a suitable place, sunyagara. And not only should the place be a sunyagara, a quiet place, but the mind also must be sunyagara, must be quiet. In other words, the quiet mind is known as chanda chitta, free and not being shaken, not be shaken by raga, craving, lust, or desires, not to be shaken by anger, aversion, ill will, dosa, or any other impurities. So, if one is moved by these undermining elements, then you can not have to be santa chitta, peaceful mind, cannot be quiet mentally. So, in the practice of Satiripatthana, you are guarding yourself with vigilant mindfulness of every arising, noting immediately arising object as they arise. If you don't do that, then it will be difficult to control your mind. When you are not mindful, then you will be moved and shaken by or affected by raga, dosa, these undermining elements such as craving, aversion, and so on. If you are able to note, apply your mindfulness, with the mind energetically focused on the object, so that the mind becomes one-pointed, then in 1 minute, with 60 seconds, your mind is concentrated 60 times. And in 5 minutes, 300 times. In 1 hour, 3,600 times. Just imagine that. Of course, to be continuously mindful and concentrated is not easy, but one has got to practice in order to achieve that goal. So, if one is able to practice in this way and be free from these undermining elements in one's mind, then one is said to possess a santa chitta, peaceful mind. So, if you are able to practice in this way, in a quiet place, be mindful of every rising, then you are bound to cultivate insight knowledge, beginning with the discernment of mind and body and their conditionality. Then you will come to see the arising and passing way of arisen phenomena, formations. Then you come to observe them as unsatisfactory. In a sense, when you are sitting for some time, you will feel unbearable sensations in your body, and in this way you observe the unsatisfactory conditions in your body, and also that things arise on their own, not on your own, and are free from atta, self or soul. There's nothing controllable, nothing manageable. In this way, especially when you come to the stage of the fleeting momentary nature of experience, that's objects arising and passing away quickly, you will come to experience the flavor of the Dhamma. In Pali we call Rati, Dhamma delight. Now, there's another delight in the worldly delight in sensual pleasures, delight in enjoying pleasurable sight, sound, and so on. And this also is one kind of delight. But if you just indulge in such delight or delights, then you'll be wasting your time, and then such delights, such enjoyments will be perilous, fatal, even fatal. As for Dhamma delight in the practice of Dhamma, with the experience of the Dhamma, it is not so. It is free from harm. It is not perilous. It is unblemished, blameless, refined, and is said as being praised by the Buddha as Amanusi Rati. It is manifold better, or surpasses many times the sensual pleasures. So that sensual pleasures are not within reach of such pleasure. That means the Dhamma pleasure, Dhamma delight. In the worldly situations, the sensual pleasures are considered to be the best, such as enjoying good sights, sound, taste, especially touch between opposite sexes. They are considered to be the best. So this kind of delight, which we're talking about, the Dhamma delight, is manifold better, surpasses manifold these sensual pleasures. Sensual pleasures will not be able to come to that stage. So Dhamma delight is better, much better than the sensual delight, because it is free from harm, unblemished, blameless. In this way, the Buddha has praised such kind of phenomena as Amanusi Vati. Once you are able to come to this fleeting momentary nature of experience, you are bound to cultivate cultivate your mind and insight in an extraordinary, fantastic manner, so that your mind and insight will progress by leaps and bounds, so that you come to a kind of pleasure or happiness which is unrelinquishable. You don't want to relinquish with it. You don't want to let go. This is such kind of pleasure, because it is good in itself. It doesn't come in a mixed form. In sensual pleasures, they come in mixtures. You don't enjoy just one pure thing. You enjoy many things. But in this case, the delight comes in single item. It is good in itself. And this kind of delight arises by leaps and bounds, such has been said in the text. So if you come to this stage, guarding yourself with vigilant mindfulness of every arising, respectfully and carefully, continuously, perseveringly, without being affected by undermining elements such as craving, aversion, and instead cultivating insight knowledge by stages, coming to the stage of Udiyabhya Jnana, so-called insight stage known as Udiyabhya Jnana, knowledge of the arising and passing away of objects. Then you will come to experience, you will come to realize that this kind of pleasure manifold surpasses the sensual pleasures. You will not esteem, you will not hold sensual pleasures in high esteem anymore. So at this stage, the yogi will just practice and advance forward, go on practicing, continue the practice, instead of flinching back, retardation, instead of going backwards. Because at that time, the energy also is exerted with building up momentum, and this is the suitability of sunyagara, suitability of location. And once you are able to reach that stage, you will be able to enjoy this. Now, according to Sariputta, Elder Sariputta, the suitable accommodation is no more than a place where you can sit, and so that the rains will not splash on your knees or on your body. So as much as that such a place is sufficient to be known as a suitable place. Of course, not so in the modern sense. We have more than a place to sit, more than a place to lie. You have the whole room at your disposal. Such is avasa sabaya, the suitability of location, and you don't need to worry about it. when you're noting these mind and body objects correctly and meticulously, with the application of these factors, Sakichakriyaya, that is respectfully and carefully, Satichakriyaya, continuously, perseveringly, with the application of energy, and within a suitable location, your virya will arise by leaps and bounds, leading to sati, and not ordinary sati, but Supatita Sati, sustained mindfulness, very effective mindfulness. So when you know the object, you will at once be able to sustain your mindfulness on the object. And this will give rise to, this will deepen your concentration, so that the mind falls calm and collected in one pointed manner. Kanika Samadhi, momentary concentration also will become stronger and stronger. And when you observe, when you come to the stage of observing this arising and passing away in a fast manner, then you will wish to continue the practice. In this way, this kusala bhavana, you are said to be cultivating this kusala bhavana. That is mind development practice, wholesome practice of the mind. So that your stream of consciousness become very pure, purer and purer, so that you are able to cultivate the 7 bojjhangas, enlightenment factors. These 7 kinds of enlightenment factors will become strengthened. In this way, your kusala bhavana, the development of wholesome states of mind, will also increase. In this way, your faith and confidence will increase, saying to yourself that as much as you say to yourself that just how nice is this practice, I should have known earlier on, and how nice it is. And because you realize the correctness of the practice, you come to acceptance of the practice, and also you are gaining the skillful consequences, results of the practice. So you come to acceptance and resolution. In this way, you come to have faith in the Buddha who has preached this Dhamma, and then also faith in the community of monks, members of the Sangha, who have practiced and realized the result of the practice. In this way, you come to have faith and confidence in the entire sadhana dispensation. Such is the arising of Saddha Bala, the faith energy, the power of faith and confidence. At that moment, not only is your mind become bright and serene, which is one part of Saddha, you come to believe in it. The believing, the trusting part also comes in. So the Saddha has 2 parts. One is clarity, and another part is trusting. So not only is your mind become clear and pure, clear crystal, but you come to have trust in it. In this way, you come to acceptance and resolution. At this moment, also you'll be able to exert your what is known as arada virya, sustained energy. Energy rises by leaps and bounds. In other words, it is called pegahida virya, kind of virya which does not let things fall down nor stagnate. Instead, it will rise up and up. In this way, you are building up virya bala, the power of energy. So, as much as you are able to build up this virya bala, you are also enhancing your power of mindfulness to the stage of Supatita Sati, sustained mindfulness, strong mindfulness. So that your mindfulness becomes stronger and stronger. As much as your mindfulness is strong, it will be panoramic. As the energy, mindfulness energy arises, your awareness will become stronger and more and wider, panoramic. So much so that you may even recall the events of the past when you were young, and to some people, even the past life. So much is the power of mindfulness. This will give rise to the deepened concentration. The concentration power also will become very great, so that because of the strength of samadhi, you are able to strengthen your mindfulness. With sati, with mindfulness, your awareness is panoramic and strong, and with concentration, your awareness becomes very energetic. And with sada, with the power of sada, faith and confidence, your mind becomes brighter and more active, more and more alert, more and more clear. So, in this way, you are able to cultivate your knowledge in a special manner, so that the Dhamma, the practice that you are, the Dhamma that you are practicing also will be built up, will only increase, not decrease, and you would not wish your practice to go down. So in this way, you will also come to possess these two wholesome mental states, two wholesome powers, namely Hiri Bala and Oddappa Bala. Hiri Bala means you don't wish to miss your mindfulness, to lose your mindfulness. You become disgusted about losing your mindfulness. You become ashamed of losing your mindfulness. Such as Hiri Bala, the power of shame, of wrongdoing, in this case losing your mindfulness. And then the power of fear, or Oddappa Bala, the power of fear of wrongdoing, in this case losing your mindfulness. You become afraid, you become worried, you become afraid of losing your mindfulness, such as Oddappa Bala. In this way you come to possess these two wholesome mental powers, Hiri Bala and Oddappa Bala. So your energy at this stage will also increase by leaps and bounds. Buddha himself said that there's Bhavana Bala is none other than the 7 enlightenment factors, the Bojjhangas. Bhavana Bala, the power of practice, the power of mind development practice, is none other than the 7 kinds of enlightenment factors, 7 Bojjhangas. The Bhavana Bala gives rise to mental energy. The practice is to cultivate this wholesome states of mind continuously, to flow like a current in your stream of consciousness, so that the preceding noting consciousness is continuous with the succeeding noting consciousness, and then so will be your wholesome states of mind. They will rise continuously, and in this way you just make a start in your practice. You started with viriya, application of energy, exertion of energy. Asivana, that is what is meant by this. And this is to allow bhavana, mind development practice, to be cultivated. From a very tiny thing to become enlarged, to enhance, and from immature stage to maturity. Such is the practice of bhavana. And in order to do so, one has got to practice full time, except the time when you are fast asleep, every second of the time. Such as bahulikamam, practicing continuously and repeatedly, in order to initiate the practice and also to allow this practice to grow and grow, so that your kusala bhavana will increase. Especially when you come to the stage of the insight stage known as Udiyadhyaya Jnana, knowledge of arising and passing away, then you are able to cultivate these 7 Bojjhangas, enlightenment factors. Such is Bhavana Bala. At this stage, there will be no transgressive actions, because you are despising, you are afraid fearful of losing your mindfulness, not to speak of having thoughts of these Suitabilities, immoral deeds by body and speech. There will be no such thoughts of even committing physical and verbal misbehaviors. No such vidikama-kilitas, gross forms of defilements, because you are even not despising, you are even become careful of not losing your mindfulness, because you are in possession of these two wholesome mental powers, hiri, ottappa, shame and fear of wrongdoing, in this case shame and fear of losing your mindfulness. So that you will practice more and more respectfully, more and more carefully, in order to sustain your mindfulness. And with the sustained mindfulness, your concentration will deepen and more, such and so will be your insight knowledge. They will arise by leaps and bounds, such as bala, and they will overcome, they will win victory over undermining elements, hindrances of progress, nirvanas, so that these undermining elements will not have a chance to even affect and come into your mind. Such is the strength of your bala. They will not overwhelm you, instead you will only overwhelm them, overwhelm these undermining elements. Such is the power of bala. As regards the next suitability, Gochara Sabhaya, this concerns more to the monks because they go on arms round. The suitability of resort concerns more with the monks. Their alms village should not be far away, not too near, not too far, so that they can go on. In the old days, they used to go on alms round and take their meal by themselves from their alms bowl. Of course, nowadays the food is being prepared. Food is prepared in the dining hall, so there's no worry about the fulfillment of this suitability of resort, Gochara Sabhaya. The third suitability is Basa Sabhaya. The text is given this Sabhaya Dhamma Savanam. That is suitability of listening to the Dhamma, to the Dhamma talk or Dhamma discourse. Listening to suitable Dhamma means not listening to unsuitable things, not to speak about unsuitable things. And because the practice is to cultivate insight knowledge, at least to reach the path consciousness. So there should not be any discussion, listening or talk about what is known as Tirsanakata, that is worldly conversations which are not concerned with the practice of the Dhamma. So we have to abstain from talking about things other than the Dhamma or the practice. Of course, we can listen and talk, but even then there should be a limit. Samana Yoga, a limit to talks about even things concerning the Dhamma or the practice. Otherwise, it might amount to a waste of time, so that your time for practice may be reduced. So when yogis meet each other, see each other, they only talk about the Dhamma, such as about Satipatthana. They can talk about Satipatthana, especially they can talk about their observations with the meditation teachers. Even then, there should be a limit to it. When one is talking about each other, apisagata, there should be talk about only contentment and to limit one's desires, and to talk about only virya, how to cultivate energy, and talk about how to sustain mindfulness, how to deepen concentration, how to cultivate insight knowledge, and how to about liberation, vimukti, and vimukti anandasana. And all these things come under the 10 kinds of kathavut talks, Dhamma talks. And even then, there should be a limit to such conversations. One should give priority to one's own practice. If one should not indulge in conversation, then what should they do in other times? They should give priority to the practice in accordance with the expression Ariyo Doni Bhava, that is noble silence. That means limiting, not talking, but just not talking is not pure and noble. It's an expression given in the Samatha Bhava Bhutam. That is, one must deepen one's concentration.
Samatha Vipassana.
Samatha Vipassana Bhutam.
Samatha Vipassana Bhavana Bhutam.
Samatha Vipassana Bhavana Bhutam. That is, one should practice samatha concentration to tranquilize your mind, to be free from the hindrances, and thus be able to cultivate insight knowledge. So you must note and observe. You must cultivate insight. Then only it will be Ariya or Riyo, pure and noble. Ariyo means Visuddha or Visuddha. Visuddha, pure. And Uttama. Yeah.
Parisuddha.
Parisuddha. Parisuddha. Parisuddha, pure. Purity. And Uttama, noble. When you are pure, it will be noble. So in this way, this is what is meant by noble silence, not just free, not just staying mute. This will not be tantamount to pure and noble. So one can misunderstand this noble silence. If one is, instead of talking, one is thinking, indulging in fantasies and imagination and thoughts, then one will be defiling one's mind. So what should the yogis do is that they should be noting whatever arises in their body, and in this way they are said to be living with Ariyo Doni Bhava, noble silence. We shall continue tomorrow.